Hello everyone, welcome to a World of Warships Blitz video. Today's video is a premium, the Blitz Pass Premium, the first Commonwealth ship in the game, the Tier 6 Commonwealth, obviously Australian ship, the Perth. So I had the Perth recommended to me by a fleet mate. Yes, I have fleet mates. And he said it was basically a bit like a Leander but with HE, and well, he's not too far wrong. It doesn't. The Leander is quite a slim ship, so it has a little bit more of a dumpy appearance, but performance-wise, it's actually pretty familiar. So I should do a video comparing the stats, and I will, if I haven't done one already, in which case you'll understand the inspiration for it when it appears. So here we are in the Bay of Storms map. We're moving forward to try and get ourselves into a position where, well, we can do a little bit of scouting, but actually probably that in retrospect is not a great idea. Here comes the enemy aircraft, a whole fleet of enemy battleships ahead of us there. So I'm going to try and get some fires going and trying to get to not too badly shot up. So I've got the turn going. I get one or two hits, so that's pretty painful, but I'm going to keep the distance open. It's got fairly accurate guns. It does drop HE relatively accurately. And if you want my sense about the ship, if you want my my initial impression, it's sort of a little bit like a poor man's Belfast. So it's a British light cruiser. It has the sonar, and it has HE. And it has all the performance of the British ships. It does have torpedoes. It has sets of 4 torpedoes on each side for a total of 8. I mean, they're fairly good range torpedoes. So when we do the stats review, we'll be able to see what the range of the torpedoes are, but they are a reasonable range. A reasonable tight spread, not Japanese tight, but still pretty good. So a useful set of torpedoes. On widespread, the widespread is pretty narrow, so just be aware that if you use torpedoes for modifying the behaviour of destroyers when you're in close combat, you might find these torpedoes don't quite do the same job that those on the Fiji or the Leander do. The HE is a fantastic addition because basically, well, it starts fires, and although I don't start many fires in this game, I start enough to get a reasonable total out of it. And what we're doing here is watching as our destroyer takes down just one of their battleships, which is a shame because that destroyer could have spent the whole day whole game making those battleships' lives absolutely miserable. But as it is, he made one of them unhappy and the rest of them pretty happy because now he's gone. A destroyer trade for a battleship trade in a battle like this where you've only got one destroyer in the game is not great. Because battleships tend to be a little bit concerned and around destroyers, so I should probably keep going for the Italian cruiser there, the Raimondo. But yeah, I took some shots at the battleship passing him by. He's reversing, or he's going forward. I think he's discovered that there's something he doesn't really like, and he's coming to a stop. So we've got a couple of battleships, so they're pushing all their weight around this flank. We have to hold this flank. We've got 2 battleships that just need to get into their cap zone and not get overwhelmed. So if those battleships advance too quickly, if a cruiser was there, let's say it advanced too quickly into the cap zone, then what would happen is that massive ships ahead of us would basically go and clear it out. But as they're taking their time getting there, they're trying to press the advantage to come through to our capture zone, and my job is to help slow them down. So as you can see, we've been busy enough that now we're becoming a bit of a target. So the armour on this ship is still pretty basic stuff. It's still pretty basic British cruiser, but still. And what we're trying to do here is we'll just delay their move into the cap as much as possible, and our battleship's doing a really good job. They should just be pressing in close and just dealing with it, because our battleship isn't really able to stop that sort of a mass, and I'm really only just slowing them down. But slowing them down is what we need to do, and slowing them down he is doing. So I'm taking a bit of heat there. We've lost our New Mexico, so there's nothing between them and the cap except me. And yeah, no, that's going to be pretty unfortunate. So I fire off the smoke screen, get some torpedoes. I should have fired them short, to be honest, because this is fairly predictable. He turns in. As soon as he sees the smoke, he turns in. And he's got nothing to shoot at. He suddenly remembers that, oh, I need to do some evasive manoeuvres. So we'll switch to the Fuso. We just want to get fires. If we can get enough fires going, we might be able to at least take down one ship. The main thing is that they are having to keep firing at me, which means that they want to keep the broadsides. They're not getting neat lines into the capture circle. Our battleships, on the other hand, one of them's in the circle, has flipped it to green. So now, as long as they don't get interrupted when they continue to cap, and the clock doesn't stop, then it doesn't matter if one of the ships on this side gets into the circle, because yeah, they won't turn it white before the enemy circle turns, or enemy capture zone turns green. So I think now they're just trying to play for, well, fun and experience points. He's trying to get into the capture circle. I'm in desperate straits here. I've got another fire going. I'm trying to keep my distance. My smoke is gone. I have 3 smokes, which is good, but as it turns out, I don't need it. Mission accomplished. We slowed them down by enough that our team could take the capture circle, and all that damage. And there was a lot of hits in that game, and that's why I think it's like the Belfast. A lot of hits in that game meant that we took out the most valuable player award, 55,000 damage, which in a tier 6 ship that you're sort of just learning the ropes of, it doesn't have a captain in it, by the way, is pretty good. Now the Perth is going to have a problem. You do get a captain in the Blitz pass if you stick with it, but the issue is that obviously you've only got one ship to train them in. So 201 main battery hits, that's pretty good going. The Perth, I do like it, do recommend it. Blitz pass available now. That sounded like an advert, didn't it?